Hello, my name is Sheldon Arch, and this is my oral presentation on the ethical dilemma of the death penalty for GMCA-154 class on ethics with Professor Wilson. Today's date is December 12, 2011. For many years now, in many states across our nation, there has been debate and argument over the ethics of implementing capital punishment for convicted felons. Many within our society view the death penalty as an outdated form of punishment. However, after taking into consideration the pros and cons of the death penalty, I am drawn to the conclusion that I support the death penalty because it discourages murders. It is a just response to violent murders, and it takes convicted murderers off of the streets. This removes threats to society. The basis of not committing murder is religious and cultural, and it is universal. Our society's laws exist to protect the common good. The primary reason for support of the death penalty is that it serves as a deterrent to violent crime and murder. Given foreknowledge of the consequences, murder is a viable option only for those that have a blatant disregard for human life. Many have second thoughts about murder when they consider what the end result will be. Most people want to live more than they want to murder someone else. Without the death penalty, murder rates in our nation would rise. There are times when criminal acts require a response that shows that a society will not tolerate acts that are heinous in nature. Capital punishment in response to violent acts is a justified and appropriate response to violent acts of murder. Criminals have to be held responsible for their acts. The punishment should equal in severity to the crime. Murder should be countered with the death penalty. Another consideration for capital punishment over other forms of punishment is that all others allow for the possibility of the criminal being able to commit more murders. Convicted felons that are sentenced to life in prison, often without the possibility of parole, pose a threat to correctional officers and other inmates. There is no incentive for them to cooperate, and nothing stopping them from taking more lives. It is difficult to be in constant control of these dangerous felons. In addition to that, there is always the possibility that convicted felons escaping from detention facilities and correctional institutions. This poses a clear threat to the public. Attempts to recapture escaped convicts often lead to violent encounters that risk the lives of citizens and law enforcement. This is an unnecessary risk to the general public and is very expensive for taxpayers to provide for the ongoing care throughout the lifetime of these convicted felons. Capital punishment removes these dangers and prevents murderers from being able to do so again. Critics of the death penalty say that capital punishment is cruel and unusual, thus making it unconstitutional. Many ways of carrying out capital punishment have come and gone throughout our nation's history. Hangings, firing squads, gas chambers, the electric chair, and lethal injection have all been used as capital punishment. Most of these are no longer used because many feel that they inflict undue pain and suffering. Another argument against the death penalty is that many individuals have been convicted of capital crimes, only later to be found wrongly accused and innocent of that crime. This is a strong argument against capital punishment. This is unjust. Prosecution of death penalty cases should be also taken into account. It is very expensive and time-consuming to prosecute a capital punishment case, and often takes years for the trial to conclude. Under some circumstances, the death penalty cases have been appealed for decades. This places significant burdens on our legal system and is a significant cost to taxpayers. These considerations pose a considerable dilemma about the ethical application of the death penalty. Is it right to end the lives of those that commit murder? Each individual has to ask themselves that question. Does the death penalty apply to modern society? The social contract theory of ethics best applies to the death penalty. Everyone in society is expected to follow the laws that govern all of us. These laws apply to every individual without exception. If someone becomes a threat to the common good, then that threat has to be removed. The death penalty is like disciplining an unruly child. If clear boundaries are not set by parents and punishments enforced, the child will act in any manner they want, confident that there will not be consequences for whatever they do. However, a child that knows that there are rules and that they will be enforced will be unlikely to push the bounds of their parents' rules. Clear rules that are enforced with punishments that are appropriate to the behavior is a deterrent to those that would, offers clear consequences for bad behavior, and stops that bad behavior from occurring again. The death penalty is an essential tool for the criminal justice system to use in the defense of our society. There are flaws in any system, and the death penalty in particular, but capital punishment is too important to not be used. Thank you.